What is multi-payer billing? Multi-payer billing is when an invoice or invoice item is partially paid for by the patient with one or more third parties paying the remainder. Here's an example. A patient has partial coverage for a procedure in their work benefits package. A multi-payer invoice would be used to track the amount billed and paid for both patient and insurance company. To bill multiple payers on an invoice, the patient must first have those payers linked to them on their client card. Let's add a payer to a client card. Look up the patient in Client Entry Editing. If this patient's invoice will be primarily paid for by a third party, set their type to Third Party or Multi-Payer Patient. Now select the Relations tab. Select Third Party from the tree on the left and click the New button. Type in a third-party name and hit Enter. Double-click on their name in the list. The third party will now be listed in the tree on the left. Any information about the patient's insurance policy can be entered into this area. For example, let's put in a policy number, percentage covered, coverage limit, and coverage left. Click Save when complete. Now, let's create a multi-payer invoice for this patient. Click the Client Billing button on the Healthquest toolbar. Select a doctor, and then look up the patient we just edited. Notice that the third party we linked to the patient is now in the Bill to TP field, along with the third party name and address and the patient's policy and claim numbers. On the first invoice line, select a code to bill, fill in the calls, double-check amount, etc. If it is not already selected, select Multi from the Payer drop-down or right-click on the word Multi. The Multi-Payer Details window will appear. This window is where you declare the portions to be paid by each payer. If the patient's policy number and coverage were already filled in, the third party will be filled in automatically along with the amounts. If you need to add another payer, you can click Add, select a third party, enter the amount to be paid by changing either the dollar amount or set the percentage. To revert to the patient's default coverage, click the Default Coverage button, or to get coverage for just one payer, click the Get Coverage for this payer button. When you are finished, click OK. Notice that the total for the invoice is displayed, as well as the client total owing in red. Next, we'll pay off the patient portion of this invoice. Click Payment. A confirmation window displaying all payer details will appear. Click OK. Select Items to pay, fill in the amount, and click Post. Let's take a look at the invoice we created in Account Summary. From the Client Entry Editing window, click Account Summary and then the Invoice Summary tab. Locate the invoice. On the right-hand side, we see the payers for this invoice, with total amounts invoiced and paid. If you need to change or redistribute the payers on an unpaid invoice, select an invoice and click the Redistribute button. From this window, you can change payers for invoice lines and the redistribution date. Select a different payer. When complete, click Save.